Hi everyone, my name is Christina Raganisi, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about caffeine. We're going to start off with just the general facts about it, then I'm going to get more into the positive and negative effects of it, and then we're going to jump into kind of more my personal experiences with caffeine. Caffeine is pretty much odorless and colorless, so if it's in any of your drinks or your food even, you're not really going to be able to know it's there. Caffeine itself is a compound made of 60 different plant sources, including coffee beans, tea leaves, cacao seeds, and cola nut seeds. Approximately 1.6 billion people every day drink a cup of coffee, and then 1.42 million people drink tea every day, and 1.42 million is just in the US. There's about 2 billion people daily that drink tea, and that is just the statistics for how many people drink coffee and tea, not even including your energy drinks like Red Bull, Monster. There are some foods or supplements now, even like pre-workouts, that have caffeine in it that people do consume every day on a daily basis. The average person does take about 300 milligrams of caffeine a day, which is equivalent to 2 to 4 cups of coffee, depending on the cup size. It does vary. And then caffeine is basically a stimulant that starts as soon as 15-20 minutes after you take it and can last up to 6 hours after. It is pretty much goes through your central nervous system and is a psychoactive substance. So it is a drug that crosses your blood-brain barrier and then it stimulates the central nervous system. So that's basically how that works. Caffeine gives most people energy, but it can also give them withdrawal symptoms, kind of like myself right now. I've had so much caffeine throughout my entire life that it just really doesn't work anymore, and it'll like hit at its top for a few minutes and then need another couple cups of coffee throughout the day, or Red Bull. I've been kind of trying to get different consumptions of how much caffeine I put in my system so my body doesn't get so used to it. But consuming the same amount builds up a tolerance in your body, and everyone's tolerance is different, so that could be based on your age, your body weight, your mass. So now to get more into the benefits of caffeine. Caffeine blocks your adenosine, pretty sure I said that right, sensors in your brain. So basically what it does is those sensors cause you fatigue and make you feel sleepy. So when you're consuming the caffeine, it stops those sensors. But kind of the bad part, so it's like a benefit and a negative about that, is that once the caffeine wears off, then all of those adenosine, something like that, sensors go to your brain, and then that's why you're so sleepy afterwards, and you gotta hit that down and cause fatigue. But it also does increase your metabolic rate by 7% and lowers the suicide rate by 45%. Studies have found that caffeine can lower risk as well of developing Alzheimer's or dementia. So for the long term, it is really good. Obviously, at this age, you don't really need to worry about that stuff, but definitely be well aware of how much caffeine you're putting in your system, because in the long run, it will affect you. So some negative effects of caffeine include headaches. I know I get these really bad when I'm not consuming a lot of caffeine or even caffeine at all. I'll get super bad migraines and I'll have to go to sleep just because it's like too much for me to handle pretty much. That's why I do try to drink caffeine every single day, because I do get those really bad withdrawals. And then basically the headaches are from blood vessels in your brain becoming so used to the caffeine that when you don't have it, just triggers those headaches. Some other withdrawal symptoms include anxiety, drowsiness, and tremors. Tremors are a little excessive. I mean, I do drink a lot of caffeine and I don't get tremors or anything, but I guess it all really depends on your tolerance. Like I said, I do have a high tolerance at this point. I drink sometimes up to 5 coffees a day or 2 really large Red Bulls, so everyone's really going to be different as to how it affects you. And then overdosing on caffeine, yes, you're probably like, it's coffee, like how could you, or Red Bull, how could you overdose on it? But it is a drug, so you can overdose on it and then cause irregular heart beating or even death or breathing problems, anything like that, depending on obviously how your body reacts to it. But yeah, that is it. That is the bad, the good of caffeine. But, just got to be careful with it, just like everything else. And obviously, everyone is going to be different as to how it affects you versus the other person. Thank you.